New York Jets fans, welcome to a very brand new session of Nick's Couch Report here on Jets Talk on Nick's Bros TV. I want to thank you guys for joining in once again. Again, my brother and I love doing this, just interacting with sports fans in general, New York sports fans in general, in this specific show, the New York Jets. I got to tell you, last night's game was the most enjoyable, relaxing football game I have watched in years. Meaning it's been a while since I've had a quarterback for my team that I hadn't had to sit on the edge of my seat worrying about whether he's going to do too much with the football or he's going to turn it over. Now, I'm not going to sit here and praise Fitzpatrick and say this is the guy. No, he's just a one-year solution. But he's a perfect fit for the offense that Chan Gailey has brought to our team. Comment was left last night on our Twitter page stating, which I agree with this, Geno Smith can also do better things and be doing more positive things in a spread offense with Chan Gailey. I totally agree. But I still think Fitzpatrick would do a better job because Fitzpatrick just steps back and does his job and just throws the ball. He doesn't try to do too much, and I feel like Geno Smith will do too much. Now, before I get into it, I want to give a round of applause to our entire defense. From the defensive backs to Darrelle Revis, to Cromartie, to Buster Skrine, to Gilchrist, to Pryor. Pryor is a guy that I gave him a lot of grief last year, but he definitely has stepped up. He plays in his natural position, and Pryor has definitely stepped up. I want to give praise to our defensive line, although they weren't able to sack Luck as much as I really wanted them to, but they definitely put a lot of pressure on Luck for him to be able to make uneasy throws, which led to a couple of the interceptions, whether it was the one that Pryor made or Darrelle Revis made. I want to give props to our linebackers. Our defense was amazing. As far as our offensive line is concerned, this is probably one of the best offensive lines we've had in a while. You give that much time to any quarterback, whether if it's Geno Smith or Fitzpatrick, they will do well. But again, Fitzpatrick is the right guy for the job. I want to praise Decker. I want to praise Marshall. I want to praise these guys. I want to praise them for what they've done and how they stepped up last night. I mean, we carried ourselves like a professional football team. Now, with that being said, let's diagnose the game a little bit further and kind of go from there. To all Jets fans, this is a very good moment for us to be happy about our team, feel confident about our team. I feel like Todd Bowles has come out and truly has made an impact, a positive impact to our team. But what I want you to do is I want you to hit the brakes. Hit the brakes. This is just the second week in the NFL. Till about week 4, teams are figuring out themselves, their identities. They get going. Now, Browns game, I considered ourselves to win it. I mean, before the season even started. The Colts game, I was kind of like, But no, we made a statement in Indianapolis. We have Indianapolis's number. Whether it was the AFC Championship or now. We are a good football team. I cannot say enough about our defense. I feel like there was a couple of plays where Cromartie struggled. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt of him coming off that injury. Buster Skrine, I tell you, that kid is impressive. That kid is, he for his size, he's very tough. I can't say enough about Darrelle Revis. Now, I got to put this out there. We got to pay Muhammad Wilkerson. The guy was almost everywhere causing trouble for Andrew Luck. We got to sign him. And this is a defensive line without Shelton Richardson. But I got a bone to pick with my guy, Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams, you can tell, and he came out like a professional and stated that he was out of shape. You know what? I can respect you for coming out and saying that. You being the guy and saying that. But you know, I can appreciate that about a rookie lineman. But as far as Leonard Williams is concerned, he's got to finish what he starts. I feel like he gets the job done with the offensive line. He just doesn't finish his sacks. He had about 2 to 3 chances last night where he could have came down with a sack and made something happen, but he was unable to. One of them, he actually was pretty much unblocked. He predicted Andrew Luck's position the wrong way, where it led him to disrupt the pass but not be able to come down with the sack. So Leonard Williams needs to finish what he starts. If you guys look at Mack from the Raiders, his rookie year, he was the same way. He would bring pressure to the quarterback, but he wasn't able to finish. But in the end of the season, he was able to get some sacks here or there. So Leonard Williams is going to come around for sure. I have no doubt in him. But this is the reason why I say for the Jets fans to put on brakes after watching last night's game. And the reason why I say that is our offense needs to click. It needs to click faster. The amount of opportunities our defense created last night for our offense, we should have been up, by way more points than we were by the end of the game. The reason why I say that is when you start facing more aggressive offenses, and this year, you can't consider the Colts a tough team just because, they have a lack of discipline in that team. They have quite a few injuries on the defensive side as well. And Andrew Luck is just, throwing the ball and creating a lot of turnovers. But when you start facing the New England Patriots, when you start facing I know the Giants are struggling right now, but they have a pretty decent offense. When you start facing, good offensive teams where, the defense will, they're going to create some opportunities for you to get back on the field, but you have to do something with it. You have to get some points out of it. And if we go into a shootout with the New England Patriots, we're not going to be able to survive. So the challenge for a team is our offense. It's to get that running game going and get it going earlier. The running game started clicking maybe in the fourth quarter, a little too late. I like the spread offense. A little bit getting used to just because I'm not used to seeing the Jets in so many shotgun plays, but that's totally fine with me as long as it works. And also, just to credit our offense, I feel like Chan Gailey didn't want to show too much last night. The reason why I say that is when we were maintaining that 10-0 lead all the way till about the third quarter, I believe, we weren't that aggressive on the offense whatsoever. But when it came down to the Colts scoring and we needed to put the game away, the next drive when we got the ball, we were very aggressive, and Marshall was able to get us that touchdown. So again, I feel like Chan Gailey is not trying to show too much, but at the same time, he's doing a great job, I think. So is Todd Bowles. But that's kind of my take on that. I was going to go through some stats with you guys. Brandon Marshall, 7 receptions, 101 yards, one TD. Brandon Marshall is one of those guys. He's very explosive after the catch. One of the best wide receivers I was able to watch in my time was Terrell Owens. And Owens was just like that too, able to use his hands, get the stiff arms going, and be able to cut a long yardage. Eric Decker stepped up. He's definitely number 2 guy. I've been saying that from day one. 8 receptions, 97 yards. I was pretty disappointed out of Quincy Inuwana. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Inuwana or whatever. He had 2 drops and ended up having 1 reception. This is where I kind of scratch my head, and I'm like, all right, why isn't Curley in the game? Curley, all he's doing now for us is returning punts and kicks. So I definitely think Curley's much more explosive than any of those guys. So I don't know if we're going to try to work him into the offense, but we really definitely need to get him going for sure. So that's that. Bilal Powell, he did have that fumble. I believe we recovered it. Chris Ivory, that can't be right. Chris Ivory had more yards than that. But no, he struggled in the game as well. I'm trying to get the rush yards going, and oh yeah, he had about 57 yards. So that's really good. Now, as far as Ryan Fitzpatrick goes, again, he's not our future. I'm not sitting here and saying that whatsoever. But what I am telling you guys is 22 for 34, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And that interception was not his fault. He did throw it into a really good coverage, but I like it because he's taking chances. He's not a guy that is mentally worried about what people are going to think about him. And that's probably the key ingredient for his success so far in New York. I think Geno Smith is too worried about stats and what people are going to think of him or whatnot. But, I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick has done a really good job for us. Hopefully, once Geno comes back, we're not going to have any quarterback controversy because, again, Fitzpatrick has done a good job so far. I'm not going to sit here and say, he's the man and he's the future and stuff like that. But, I'm on cloud 9 as a Jets fan. Guys, leave me your comments. Tell me what you think. Also, let's talk about Cromartie. I mean, how well is he doing? He had 1 or 2 good plays, but he had a couple of blown coverages, I thought, in the game. Where does Buster Skrine rank in our defense as well? We definitely need to start putting sacks on the quarterback. Once we get Sheldon Richardson, I definitely think that's going to be able to happen. But again, enjoy this win. Enjoy this win because I am. But at the same time, put on the brakes. This game in New Jersey against the Eagles is going to be a tough game. And a lot of people are going to not agree with me because just how much the Eagles have struggled. But I just feel like a lot of people are going to count the Eagles off, and they're going to come up and, give us a heck of a game. And, I just feel like, Chip Kelly's very dangerous. And we just got to be able to be ready for the game. So you guys let me know what you think. Please comment and subscribe. Again, it's a pleasure doing this. You guys let me know what you think about last night's game and this week going to against Philly. You guys have a wonderful week.